Alright, so good day for the station wagon here. I got the exhaust put on. So now it's, at least exhaust-wise, nice and quiet. Problem is that I'm hearing this. I don't know what the hell that is. Didn't really hear it much before when the exhaust is off. So it doesn't sound like a knock, but it sounds like it's coming from the lower end. It sounds like something's like loose around the flywheel / starter area, but whatever. I got both headlights aligned. You can't tell because the tires are in the way, but I got them perfectly aligned. The left one was down really far, and the adjustment screw was gone, so I had to like make up my own redneck system for it. Yeah, the next thing I gotta do is got that tailgate there, and eventually I want to swap out because the motor does work on this one, but even when it's all the way in the up position, you still got that much of a gap. And then when you roll it down, it only goes down to about that far. And you have to basically hotwire it straight to the tailgate motor. So I'm thinking about just swapping that one over. And I got the keys for it and everything. And then figuring out how to use it, have it operate with the switch down there. And then after that, so my radio is this Pioneer head unit, and not only does it not, occasionally it doesn't save the radio stations. Not always, sometimes it does, but sometimes it's just blank, like no power to it all. And then sometimes it'll save the radio stations and be fine, but the higher up you have the volume, it'll want to like dim out and then like blank out and then beep, come back on. And then every time it hits a loud moment in the song or whatever, beep goes out. And you can actually turn on the radio and then it only like, it doesn't completely cut out, but it'll like want to cut out. And it does it intermittently. So I don't know what I'm going to do about this fucking radio. This is the second, like the original Pioneer that came with it. I thought it was because it had that face that folds down. And I don't know, I thought it was like a connection between the face and the radio itself. But this one's doing the same thing. Also, sometimes it'll cut out when you press the brakes and the car tilts forward. And then when you press the gas, then it comes back on. So, I don't know, maybe it's something in the pigtail in the connector that's bad, but it's a different connector. Also, when the case, the metal part of it, once you pull it out, the case of the radio, if it touches the metal partition between the radio and the climate control, it'll actually start sparking. So I don't know if that's ground out and it's shorting the ground, or if it's like it's getting power. Like like when you put a battery in a car and the ignition is on, it'll give you a couple sparks. So that's the next thing I want to do. And really after that, except for a few minor things, like most of the door switches are stuck inward, so the dome lights do not come on when you open the driver door, only when you open the passenger door. And I can even pull out the switch and it just doesn't do anything. And the dome lights do work. That's really about it. And then eventually I want to get those, I got some white Lincoln Town Car seats that I want to get reupholstered. I want to do the fronts and the rears. So, but other than that, yeah. I'll tell you what, man, I really like this car. It's been through a lot, but holy hell, this is a good car. I'm going to have to do a video on this thing one day. I've been meaning to do it, and it's just like stuff gets in the way all the time. So we'll see. Looks like it's smoking a little bit over here. I hope it's not, radiator's not leaking or something. I mean, this thing leaks oil everywhere. It's leaking oil from the passenger side valve cover. It's all over the side of the motor and underneath. When I did the exhaust, the speedometer cable was resting right on the left side catalytic converter. So pop that off, and it's like melted down to the cable, but I think it still works. And it was nice. Sam, if you're watching, thank you. He basically gave it to me, the whole entire exhaust system from the flanges, like he had cut ahead of the flanges for the cats, like the cat would be on this end, and the Y pipe, muffler, and the rest of the tailpipe, which it's fucking somewhere around here. And so basically I just, detach the ones underneath, and then I still had the tailpipe left, just not the muffler. So I just snuck the tailpipe into the muffler itself, and then used my 2 pop cans and hose clamp method, and she was good to go. Nice and quiet, not too quiet, but not loud like the muffler's gone. It's just that rattling noise that, I don't know, I'm kind of worried it might be the motor, but hey, if she dies, she dies. I got a 351 Windsor sitting in the garage. Maybe I'll just throw another motor in her. I'm not giving up on this car. Underneath, it's like the floor pans and stuff are still primo, immaculate. The frame is okay. I mean, it's good enough for smashing in a demolition derby, but it's not like fresh painted black show car, desert car. It's kind of in between. And people are like, oh, you drive it in the winter, like why? And I'm like, cars are meant to be driven. I got this car in 2020, and if like the paint was good and if it didn't have all the little bubbles and stuff all over the place, because this was an Oregon car, so coastal cars, they rust from the top down, and Midwest cars, they rust from the ground up. So if that wasn't the case, then I probably would not drive this thing in the winter. I'd probably keep it in the garage, but the wood's faded, the paint's faded, the roof is rusting a little bit. The biggest part, which I don't know how the hell it rusted this way, but in the door jamb, you can put your whole finger through the damn thing. So, like I said, it's not a show car. And I figured, well, it was kind of preserved a little bit, so I'm gonna treat it like if it were a used car that I had bought back in the 80s, like if I was a dad back in the 80s, or early 90s. The car is not in terrible shape, but it's not in great shape, so use it for what it is until it gets totaled or something like that. But then even still, I might, just keep it around for parts. Yeah. But man, what a car. I love this thing. I love it. I kind of wish it was a Ford. I like the Crown Victorias a little better. But, I definitely would not kick a Colony Park out of bed. Anyways, just a little update. Maybe this weekend I will do a video on it. I kind of wanted to do a video with the tailgate working. Like I said, it opens up and everything. And thanks to Sam Wilson again, I got now not only one carpet, I have 2 sets of carpet, one brown and one in dark red. Actually, I probably should have asked him to get another one of these, because this thing just never sits properly. But yeah, man, what a car. They really need to bring back the classic station wagon, in this form. Forget about all the federal safety regulations and bullshit like that. Just like a like a reboot, not a reboot, but just bring it back for a couple years, like Nike brings back a 2000 shoe, bring back a 1989 or a 91, 90 Colony Park, bring back the old bubble Caprice wagons, we shouldn't all be pigeonholed in crossovers, that's for sure. Anyways, I still got work to do, so peace out, guys.